71 to 75. Then it all quit being fun. A fellow soldier once told Sergeant Baker, "You are a dangerous person," that flipped a mental switch. After that day, Sergeant Baker did not want to hurt people anymore. Looking back over the miles, he said, "I am not well, I am not okay." Some of us learn to survive in a world hostile to us. It is not normal for a person to devote years to hurting others and feel none of the remorse such behavior brings. He went on to say, "I admit today that it is a struggle to deal with daily situations which have the elements of combat operations. Public large crowds are a particular problem." He served in sensitive positions during his career. From a psychology point of view, he was found to be fit for such service. However, that does not change bad dreams and sometimes physical manifestations. It was on May 12, 1969, that this picture returned to the memory of then. Corporal Baker, the location was Camp Eagle near Phu Bai, South Vietnam. All that after noon, medivacs had landed and covered stretchers were removed. It was at sundown that the arm of a killed in action solider fell from the cover. The unit was grave registration. A military morgue. It seems that this man SSG Kerbo turned on the switch that pushed Private Baker to Sergeant Baker, and he had just gotten demoted to Corporal, demoted one grade. For some reason that switch tripped that afternoon. For an hour or so the fear that paralyzed men was in the bunker with Corporal Baker. The warrior's ethos replaced the power that Staff Sergeant Kerbo had planted with just a few words. 2 weeks after Staff Sergeant Kerbo's words of encouragement, Private Baker to this graduation smile. This picture was taken on one of my low days. He is haunted by the image each time he sees it. The light on his skin was not reflecting. Dead Soldier Standing is a good title for it. We all had some rocky places along the journey. We took our punishment, learned from our mistakes, and got back on the trail. When the war is over, what is a soldier to do? It is time to teach others what he has learned. Sergeant Baker's orders sent him to Fort Sill, Oklahoma's Field Artillery School. Right down to the AIT Brigade. 30 days passed quickly. He drove to Atlanta, got on Interstate 40 in Tennessee, and traveled to Oklahoma City and over to Lawton, Fort Sill. Sergeant Baker met Earl Watkins, Cheston Walker, and host of other men who had served in the theater of Southeast Asia. The Army was changing. Some serious adjustments had to be made. He became tired of living in an apartment and purchased a house at 4901 Northwest Hoover Avenue. That was not easy on E5 pay. He took a second job to make ends meet. By October, Earl Watkins' wife Elizabeth introduced Sergeant Baker to Maxine Crosby. On February 4, 1972, SGT Baker and Maxine Crosby were united in marriage. Sergeant Baker was transferred from AIT to Self-Propelled Battery. There he taught advanced individual training soldiers crew skills on the M109 howitzer system. The intense schedule put Sergeant Baker on the track that replaced the war years. He was now on the E6 promotion list and growing in peacetime skills. There was still restlessness in Sergeant Baker. From time to time it flared up. Post-traumatic stress syndrome was still foreign to military talk. Shell shock, soldiers at that time understood. During the purchase of his home in Lawton, Sergeant Baker met John Henry Nelson. John Henry gave him an invitation to the potentate's ball. Soon after that, Sergeant Baker petitioned Mistletoe Lodge 31 to become a Prince Hall Mason. In 1973, he was investigated and began the journey into that fraternal organization. The day of household goods pickup came, and that day his orders for Germany were canceled the day before the packers arrived. Due to the cost involved, transportation recommended that the packing be completed. After the home was packed, orders back to Fort Sill were cut and household goods returned. Men of that organization just had a personal carriage that appealed to him. Sergeant Baker knew that. He had personal flaws which needed to be addressed. He sought the discipline of the Masonic organization to deal with those flaws. In December 1974, he was elected to be junior warden of Mistletoe Lodge 31. For the most part, he kept himself under control. Early in 1975, he got orders to report to Germany. He requested concurrent travel of dependents. The cancellation of orders resulted in his assignment to the NCO Academy. It snowed in Lawton while he was in school, the tires were balding on the Torino, and it did not do too well in the sleet and snow. Earl loaned him tire chains and he got through that tight spot. He had a successful graduation and a steak dinner with his bride. The two got reacquainted before dinner. They had been approved to adopt a baby. On her next appointment she was found to be with child. Having sold the Torino, they traded the Green Rambler Ambassador for a new 1973 Ford Ltd. Now Sergeant Baker worked nights as janitor at Reynolds Army Hospital. He was granted time to attend the Army Education Center to improve his math. His wife went into labor early. She was in the maternity ward for a week before giving birth. He was not permitted to leave class to be present immediately. He had to wait until the end of the day to see mother and baby. Henrietta Williams took care of mother and baby until his classes were over. He continues to remember her when he prays to this date. He was promoted to E6 soon after the baby came. He purchased a 1956 Ford pickup from a retired HVAC worker for $250. He attended advanced non-commissioned officer course, and along the way he continued to attend religious services with Rev. Simmons, and was baptized into the Baptist Church. In the summer of 1975, he got orders for Butzbach, Germany. Concurrent travel was denied. He went on to Germany and applied for quarters. He obtains economy lodging and sent for his family. They arrived in late January. He was elected to serve as junior warden and arrived in Butzbach with that distinction, as part of the Kirchgone Study Club. He visited Military Lodge 140 in Frankfurt. He presided over his first election during that visit. There he also met Carlist Jones. Brother Carlist was a devoted Mason with a lot of power in Germany. One may say that he was truly baptized into Masonry while in West Germany. To this day it is a pleasure to see Prince Hall Military Lodge. 140 delegates at Grand Lodge. The Masonic family sustained him during the difficult transition.